did not realize how much Chanel things I had until I was getting ready to film this video. So, hey guys, let me sit back. Let me get comfortable because today's video is definitely going to be a long one. So grab yourself a cup of coffee, a drink, whatever makes you feel in the mood. But this is actually one of the topics that I've been excited to talk about, and it is about the brand Chanel, and more specifically it's about the Chanel Classic Flap. So if you're into that kind of stuff, into fashion, lifestyle, the art of life, consider giving this channel a subscribe for the good vibes, like and hit that bell so that you don't miss any future notifications. And welcome to Sulu Luxe Life. I am your host, Suleika Luna. Let's get started in today's video. And for today's crystal of the day, I actually put all my crystals away, so I didn't want to go through it. I really wanted to start filming this video since it is going to be a long one. And the crystal of the day is Smokey Quartz. I feel like it fits what we're about to get into today. For today's outfit of the day, I got myself, black and white. I need to pay homage to Chanel, the brand. I feel like that is obviously Chanel's signature colors. And I did do my makeup Chanel inspired. I looked on their site. I looked at the models, and they have this ombre kind of makeup look in a lot of the classic, and as well as the types of makeup palette, the color schemes all give this beautiful natural neutral brown gradient effect. So that's the look that I went for today. Give this video a like if you would like a more deep tutorial. I'll make that video cute, short, sweet, and simple. And I also will be linking down below the articles that I got the information from, the books that I read with the information, as well as videos that if you guys want to learn even more about the current shows, it'll be all linked down below. So Gabriella Chanel, also known as Gabriella Coco Chanel, was born in 1883. She was an illegitimate daughter to a merchant and laundry woman. At the age of 12, unfortunately, her mother did pass away, and then her father sent her to live in a convent, orphanage. It was the same thing in the time. And it would be here that she will have a lot of her trademark signature design, as being in the convent basically prepared her to what Chanel will be today. It was a natural with the needle and a thread, and the nuns did teach the girls how to sew. The mother superior saw the talents that she had in sewing and got her and another friend of hers a job at a tailor. And her being in the convent did influence how she would what would define her color scheme, which is the black, white, the beads, the rosary beads, the cross, and her strict uniform will all be bases as to building Chanel. Near the tailor, a lot of officers were stationed around, so her and her friend would sneak out and they would talk to the officers, and quite often they would go out dancing with them. It'll be in one of these gatherings that she will meet one of her first lover, Balsan. Now, included in this time period, she also got into singing, and she was actually very passionate in singing, and she would sing the song Gila Vu Coco, or she would sing Coco Ricoco, which is cock-a-doodle-doo in French. So that's how some people assume that's how she got the nickname Coco, because those were her two most popular songs, and people will call her Coco. And she actually didn't like that origin. She often would switch it up, which I found really interesting. I'm like, okay, girl, so you're singing Coco, Coco, la Coco. And I actually listened to the song, and it's a tongue twister. I'm impressed that she could sing that song. Now let's talk about her lover, Balsam. He wasn't really the most faithful guy, and despite him, not being faithful, he actually was very loyal to Chanel, and because of him was how she was introduced into the higher society. So she got to, meet the people of the upper class. She got to like be introduced to this lavish lifestyle, and it was because of Balsan, hopefully I'm saying his name right, is how she was able to open up her first, I'm gonna say boutique. I know it wasn't called boutique, but I'm just gonna say boutique. So she started off with making hats, and she kind of simplified the hat in style, and she literally like changed the trends of the hats, making it much more simple, much more like lighter to wear. And women were just coming left and right, to grab one of Chanel's hats. Her being Balsam's lover, she did take full advantage, and this helped her basically market to higher society women, and she, quickly rose into popularity. So soon, Chanel became smitten, like head over heels, with one of Balsam's friends. His name was Chapel. And to his friends, he was known as Boy. This would be in Chanel's like archives, like one of her greatest loves. Like they were lovers till his passing in 1919. Pretty sure that's the correct year. It may come to no surprise that Balsam and Boy, both of them were like playboys, but they were like loyal to a T when it came to Chanel in financing her businesses and just helping her in that aspect. So girl knew how to play her cards. As for her love affair with Boy, he would soon marry I forgot to write her for first name. I think it's called Diane Wyndham. He would marry her and they would continue their affair, and he would unfortunately die in a motorcycle accident in 1919. This was one of the few moments that Chanel was caught crying, because she would never cry. She's only cried like twice, which is another like crazy fact to know about Gabriella Coco Chanel in popularity in Paris. And also around this time, she did buy she stayed in a hotel. She didn't really have her own place. She bought like a few rooms in the Rue de Cambon, and today that's actually the House of Chanel. So like her apartment, from what I gathered, it's still like the same. Like it is untouched. I don't know if it's open to the public, but it would be wonderful to actually see like the creative space that she would work in. She expanded at Rue de Carbone in 1910. She experimented with a comfortable beachwear, and she even designed a shorter version of the one piece that would be like up to your like mid-thigh. And at the time, that was actually very scandalous. It looks really, really cute. It looks like a little biker short onesie, which obviously nowadays that's actually cute. I think we should bring that back in swimwear because it just looks so chic. Her signature bob actually came in by accident. She was at an opera and something caught on fire. Silk fell on her hair. She grabbed a pair of scissors and she chopped off her hair. And this is where one of her famous quotes came to life. A woman who cuts her hair is about to change her life. I do believe in that. Every time I've cut my hair, like something drastic is happening in my life. And Chanel knew what she was talking about. She was ahead of her time. Okay, so another cool thing about Coco Chanel is that her sign's a Leo and her spirit animal is a lion. One thing that I've noticed, I haven't really seen the lion being incorporated in Chanel. I think it would be really cool to see that for the brand. No one's touched it. It'll be nice to see like a white lion, like add that animal into Chanel. Now I'm gonna go more in depth about the brand. It's kind of like mixed in with her personal life because a lot of like the trademarks, the signature look of the brand resonates with the creator herself. Okay, so Chanel number 5, the perfume. Obviously, I think this is like a well-known fact. It was actually the 5th scent that she smelled out of I think it was out of 10, but I know for a fact that it was the 5th smell she smelled, and she was like, yes, this is it. This is Chanel number 5, and that perfume was made very famous when Marilyn Monroe was asked, what do you wear to bed? She said Chanel number 5. The bottle itself was given an honor in the New York Art Museum in 1955. So inspo for the logo. There's actually two stories that are going around with the inspiration of the two interlocking C's. One that I found really cute is that people believe it was to eternalize the love that she had for Chapel Boy. Chapel Chanel CC. So, lovers united forever. Other people assume that CC is Coco Chanel, her initials, but I kind of do feel like the lover version of the story makes more sense because that was her greatest love, one of her biggest supporters. She might have, paid homage to him for helping her basically create the brand in the first place. That's just my thought. Chanel made it her mission to make the color black as a symbol of independence, strength, beauty amongst women. And a rival designer once asked Coco Chanel,
"Who are you in mourning for, mademoiselle?"
And she answered back, "Why you, monsieur?" I low-key used that phrase one time because someone was like, why you dressed up for your funeral? And I was like, honey, it's for you. Thank you, Chanel. Chanel reached Hollywood, so her outfits were soon to be notably worn by Grace Kelly herself and, of course, the First Lady, Jackie Kennedy. Unfortunately, not everything could be cupcakes and rainbow because in 1939, the war started happening. I'm not really going to dig too much into the whole her dating a German soldier. I feel like that's been said plenty of times, but yes, it is true. She did date a German soldier, and she declared that this is no time for fashion, and she closed down the shop. So she was almost gone for almost a decade. So when she got back, the hot designers at the time was Christian Dior was the big hot one, and there was a few other ones I didn't want to mention, but Dior was the ish at the time. And Chanel, she was trying to get back to it, open her shops, get back to the grind. And it took France time for them to warm up to the designer again. But she did gain a lot of popularity in Britain and in the United States. She was making a statement that she was back and ready to stay. She was not going nowhere. One place that she adored going to is Angelina, and there's actually an Angelina in New York. So if you're in New York City, they have the thickest hot chocolate. I want to try it. And it just looks like a nice, beautiful place to just chill and have a cup of hot cocoa. I'm gonna get into the classic flap. So tired of carrying her own handbag, she was just done, she decided to invent her own handbag, which will have, the chain, the flap, simple, elegant design, which we all now know as the classic flap. And it is beautifully designed with supple leather, with diamond cross stitching, simple gold CC interlocking locks, and a chain. And Karl Lagerfeld was the one to reinvent the bag, making the chain have the leather inside and modernizing it for the modern women. And this will be the bag that will remain the classic Chanel flap for days to come. The bag was created in 1920, and it was revived in 1955. It's one of the most iconic bags today. Now we're going to talk about the reason Chanel is actually where it's at today. Because believe it or not, in the 90s, Chanel was declining in popularity. It catered more to an older group, and the brand was actually close to bankruptcy. Karl Lagerfeld was actually moving to work under Balmain as an assistant, and he took over the House of Chanel and basically modernized the brand for the modern women. He would be the one to carry on Chanel's legacy up until, unfortunately, his passing. May he be gracing the heavens with his fashion that I imagine he's doing up there. He presented his first Chanel collection in 1983. Karl Lagerfeld also worked with Fendi. He worked with Chloe. He also created his own fashion brand in 1984. Like, this man was doing it all. He is undoubtedly he was one of the most influential fashion person, like, ever. Some of the products that became classic icons include the Chanel classic flap, the tweed jacket, the accessories such as the big necklaces, and Chanel number 5, the perfume. Hello. I would like to believe that the shoes are, I look at black and white, I think Chanel. And also the bold red lip. Can't forget the red lipstick. I did want to talk about the current art director of House of Chanel, and her name is Regina Vegard. I'm so sorry if I said it wrong, if I didn't say it right. Sorry, I'm trying. But I'm actually very touched that I learned about her, because for the longest time I knew nothing about her. I'm like, who was taking over Chanel? Who's doing what in Chanel? Because as of lately, the new collections are, I freaking love the latest fashion show. Not the one that passed, the previous one. Just like the symbolism, the story, the textiles of the tweed. It looks like little pebbles. Like, it's really, really cute, really innovative, very Chanel, right? Right. So let's dig into the new creative director. The new creative director is actually the first woman to be the art director since Coco Chanel herself. Tell me that ain't cool. I'm linking the article down below so you guys can read it. That she is a force of nature. She doesn't do small talk. She acts like she's a woman of action, little talking, more doing. How Karl Lagerfeld described I'm so sorry if I'm saying her name wrong. Virginie. How Karl Lagerfeld described Virginie was as his left arm and his right arm. So Virginie was actually born to 2 doctors, and she would play with the nursing outfits, and she found fashion to be much more easier than becoming a nurse or a doctor. She's like, I'm gonna do fashion. And at the age of 20, her and her friend created their own clothing brand called Nirvana. She moved to become a costume designer in Broadway shows. She did work in Broadway shows like Les Miserables, and it's here, her actually moving to work in costume design is where she will meet Karl Lagerfeld. And she was so bold. She saw this man and she was like, do you need an intern? And then he sent her to go to one of his headquarters, and she was hired on the spot. The 2, they just clicked. He was asking her what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And she was kind of embarrassed to respond, because she was like, oh my god, Karl Lagerfeld cares about my opinion. And both of them hit it off. They were literally one and the same. Virginie, the way that she's described personality wise is she's very calm, but she her presence when she's in a room, it's a no. It's very strong and very influential. Loves the luxuries of clothing, craftsmanship. She loves the textiles. But she herself hasn't worn Chanel, and she would bring to Karl a sense of refreshness, and her style is really boho, and Karl would use her as inspiration into the next collections to come, as she was basically learning under him. So when he did pass away, the transition was already really smooth. She's already was working with Chanel for a while, and homegirl knew what to do. All that I got to say about Chanel. So right now it's more my final thoughts. I want to talk more about the classic flap. I do think that, again, I've already spoken about this in a previous video. I do think that the increase that is happening so fast has a lot to do with the second, the pre-loved market, having a sense of control over it, just how Hermes has a sense of control over the pre-loved market. One item that I got, it's crazy how the resale is double the price, and I'm kind of I'm glad I got you. It's just a little wallet. So that's as close to Chanel as I'm getting right now. Hopefully in the future, I do really would love to have a bag. But just learning about it, it's just amazing how an inconvenience basically was the birth of such an iconic bag. This video is going to be going up and down. So it's kind of crazy because the same thing could be said for Hermes. If you definitely want to see a video about more details in the history of Hermes, give this video a like, but I'll also link some videos of other content creators. Aaliyah J, she actually has a really good Hermes video. I've seen that video 3 times because I'm in awe with it. I'm really excited to share this video. It's been on my mind. I've been watching Chanel shows. Definitely check out the videos I'm linking down so you guys can see more of what I'm gonna call her V because I do not want to keep butchering her name. Artist creator V's latest collection. It's just, I do see it. Me reading the article when they're talking about a sense of refreshness in the brand, I definitely do see it in the collections that she's in comparison to Karl Lagerfeld's collections. I feel like Karl Lagerfeld's is bam, Chanel, and these collections are more Chanel. Those are the vibes that I'm kind of getting from the two. With Chanel, I'm really excited with how the new creative director is going to manage the brand. I'm definitely sure she's going to be here a while. I'm so excited to see all of her other collections. And if you would like for me to do a video about Chanel inspired looks, because you don't have to be wearing Chanel to be screaming Chanel. I personally think I'm screaming Chanel. Heck, I have a table full of Chanel stuff. So I'm whenever you are passionate about something, there are ways to, emulate that feeling. Okay, so I'm just gonna end this video right here. And again, thank you so much if you've made it this far to the video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for future videos, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.